What's up guys, my name is EK. Let's talk about Wildgate. After playing the first beta test, I decided to make a video where I cover 3 things. Some pros, some cons, and some ideas and concepts that I personally would like to see implemented into this game. So I appreciate you watching, and I really do hope you stick around till about the 6.5 minute mark. Feel free to skip there. That's when I would like to see your guys' input about the concepts and ideas that I've thought up. With that being said, enjoy the video, like, comment, and subscribe. Let's start off by talking about some of the pros of Wildgate. The first thing I really like about this game is the RPG aspect. Each character has their own unique specialties, which makes the game feel pretty balanced and incentivizes a diverse team comp. It's nice to see that one character isn't just completely broken, so each crew comp is just a makeup of 4 of the same character. You're seeing a lot of diversity in these crews, and each having their own unique job within the ship. The second thing I really like about this game is the nice mix of PvE and PvP and the teamwork required to complete the PvE and PvP. So the early game, there's a lot of searching for POIs and where to get ship attachments and ship parts and how to work together to complete these POIs and get where you need to go next while gathering resources along the way. And then once the artifact is found and ships clash for battle, then the teamwork focus shifts into how to destroy these ships and navigate to get the artifact. It's just a really nice, diverse gameplay throughout each match. Another thing this game nailed is the sense of exploration. We're talking about a game where you and your friends are in space, exploring the galaxy that you just loaded into. When you load in, you don't know what POIs are around you. You don't know where the enemy ships are, and as you go, you're constantly navigating through asteroid fields and storms that can damage your ship. You can plan out a route on which you guys want to go, but it might change. You might have to course correct depending on if enemy ships are around you or there's certain resources that you need to gather along the way. So you're constantly utilizing this probing system to figure out what to do throughout each match. It makes it so that no 2 games feel the same, and I think they really nailed that. My final point worth mentioning is the content is actually challenging. PvP, let's set that aside. The late game PvP is always going to have its own unique set of challenges, but the PvE itself, the early game, the POIs, some of these POIs, the harder ones especially, can be really challenging, and you have to work together as a team to complete these. I do recommend some of your crewmates run the healing gun. This will help you efficiently get through some of these POIs. Now, if this PvE just felt monotonous and you feel like you're just breezing through to get the loot, the game wouldn't have the same appeal. It would only just be the late game that would be fun. But each match, the whole match feels fun. I think that's very important for the success of this game. Let's talk about some of the cons. The first thing I wanted to get into was certain guns and loadouts just feel broken. For example, this weapon called the Amy, it's a 3-round burst and the bullets track enemies. It just removes any sense of skill, especially when you're outside of a ship and you're in space, there's people coming toward your ship. It makes the MK2 blaster feel obsolete, like there's no reason to run it. The other example, it's maybe the double whammy, but I'm almost positive it's the sonic boom, if I remember correctly. When you're in a close quarter combat scenario, like you're in someone's ship or someone's in your ship, this thing just mows down your enemies. Like, it's no other gun compares in a close combat scenario, and it's just broken. The second con is the imbalance of ships. The scout ship is really broken due to its mobility. There's 4 ships to choose from. The Bastion is a decent pick just because your ability to defend invaders. It has 1 door that invaders can come through. But other than that, everyone's running the scout ship if they want to win, just because of its max speed and turn speed. You can really stay behind your enemies, find their weak spot, and make sure you're not really shot at while maximizing your shots onto the enemy ship. And the max speed, once you have the artifact, no ship is going to catch up to you. If the gate's open, you're going to get out and extract. Quick side note about the first 2 points I just mentioned, certain guns being broken, a certain ship being broken. Hopefully, since this is beta, they will fix those, so I'm not too critical about those points. They were just worth mentioning. The third con about this game is the lack of win condition in PvP battles. I've noticed that most of the ship-on-ship combat comes down to sort of a war of attrition. Whoever runs out of shield resources tends to lose. Don't get me wrong, some of the win conditions are cool. I've been in some fights where someone hopped out, killed the pilot in the other ship, and then lowered the shields, and were able to destroy the ship while they still have resources to repair and whatnot. There are some cool, unique PvP scenarios I've been in, but I'd say 70% of the fights I've been in just comes down to exhausting their resources before we get that final attack. To be fair, this isn't the biggest deal. It does force crews to really strategize and work together when invading ships to try and take them down, or steal. You can steal supplies, you can steal turrets from the other ship. There are some unique scenarios, so it's not the biggest deal, and it does force creativity when invading someone else's ship, but it definitely is worth mentioning. I would like some more win conditions. So now I'm going to go ahead and get into some things that I'd like to see implemented into this game, some ideas. I've been doing a lot of thinking about how I would like to see this game improve, certain ideas that I think would make this game feel a lot better, even though it's already a great game. One change that I would like to see is increased respawn timers every time you die when you're in a ship-to-ship battle scenario. This would actually solve that last con that I had mentioned about how some of these fights just feel like a war of attrition and whoever has more resources just wins. If you increase respawn timers every time you die, that would make every PvP scenario and every one-on-one feel much more valuable. And then effectively you could win a PvP scenario just by wiping out the enemy team on their ship over and over. Another thing I would like to see this game implement, it might be kind of controversial, but I'd love to hear your guys' input, so go ahead and drop in the comments what you think about this idea. What if Wildgate was extraction-based gameplay? Now imagine this, what if they added wearable gear, unique guns with different rarities, and then they add a marketplace to sell and buy this different gear and different rarities of guns. Now, on top of this, they also add 2 more Wildgates on each map, so 3 out of the 5 teams can extract. If you extract with the artifact, you get a loot cache full of higher rarities, keeping the incentives to actually get the artifact and get out with it. Sure, some people might not like this idea. I'd like to hear you guys' thoughts in the comments, but to me, I love the sense of progression from lobby to lobby outside of each game. Another thing I'd like to see this game implement is competitive gameplay. There's a couple factors they can add to this game to make it competitive. The first one would be adding leaderboards, so we can see the top player with the most kills, the top player with the most ships destroyed, artifacts extracted, etc. The other thing they can do to make this a competitive game is add 2 types of lobbies, unranked and ranked. For this to work in the extraction-based gameplay style, we would have to implement a gear score system. The way the gear score system works is before you load in, when you're in the lobby, it would show your personal gear score based on the equipment you have and you're going to bring into the game, and then it would show the accumulative gear score of your whole crew, which would also include the loadout of the ship itself. Now, I imagine if you were to play an unranked game, there would be a gear score limit. This would prevent overly geared crews from going in and just overpowering the whole lobby for the sake of getting loot. Unranked play would be for casual gameplay, as well as for people who wanted to get gear and prepare themselves to push in the ranks, in the ranked gameplay. As for the ranked lobbies, you could go in with base kit, or you could go in with some gear that you've collected from other lobbies in unranked play. When it comes to playing a ranked game, I imagine you must have a full squad of 4 to enter, and in the unranked play, you can queue up with any number in your party up to 4 players. When it comes to ranked games, in order to gain a higher rank, you simply just kill players, complete POIs, extract with or without the artifact, etc. Now, chances are, if you've played any other extraction-based game, you would recognize these systems. Some people like them, some people don't. I think the game is great how it is. It doesn't need any of this, but I think it could definitely benefit from going toward an extraction-based gameplay. I personally would love to see it, but again, like, it doesn't need it. It's a great game. I think the PvP is very enjoyable, the PvE is very enjoyable. I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts in the comments. Let me know if this system and these thoughts and ideas have any loopholes or reasons they would or wouldn't work, or you have anything you'd like to add on to these thoughts. Please drop them in the comments section. And if you've made it this far, I really appreciate you watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe.